Trump had his little gaggle with people over here where he had sort of a hot mic where he said he either, I can't be 100% sure because it's not really clear, he either ate some hostages or fucked them last night.
Oh, those hostages they were fantastic.
The hostages were fantastic last night. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hal, everybody's, that sentence is practically a modern colloquialism. Who doesn't say those hostages were fantastic last night? The fuck is right?
You were terrific.
And then they talk about the market going up 7 points.
Yeah, that's up in the 7 points.
And then he wants credit for being a record because he crashed it and then it goes back up halfway. And he's like, it's amazing. The fastest rise in whatever. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't get to like collapse a mine with miners inside of it and then get points for digging them out halfway, for half of them surviving.
Yes, sir. Smart. The key is yes, sir. Absolutely. Hello, everybody.
So they had cheerleaders there, like they have Caroline Levitt or somebody else who literally leads people in clapping when he walks over.
Nice cars. Is this the car?
Sorry, Insta people already saw this and stuff, but I fucking love that. Is this the car? No, all my cars have Pennzoil painted across the hood. Asshole. Yeah, no, it's not the car. We didn't think you were worth bringing the winning car. This is our Pacer. Of course it's the fucking car. Is this the car? That's what I said. It was a total... Oh, hello there! ...moment. Is this the car? Near? Car! Near? Car! It's... Is this the car? Fuck me. Is this the... I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. We'd ask one of these guys. Is this the car? Look at the car. Is this the car? Son of a bitch.
This is the car. Yep. Ryan from last year. Yeah. Pretty amazing job. Pretty amazing.
Okay, and then he talks about these guys, and then they switch mics, and he's like...
Actually, if you really think about it, but this is a day because Roger Penske is a great friend of mine. I've known him a long time. He received a few years ago the Presidential Medal, the highest award in the country outside of the Congressional Medal of Honor. It's sort of the civilian version of the...
Yeah, it's not the civilian version of the Congressional Medal of Honor. It's the highest civilian honor. Just leave it at that. Stop denigrating people who risked their fucking lives or died in the process of saving their fellow soldiers in horrible conditions. No. The Congressional Medal of Honor is a totally separate fucking thing. No, there's no moment in any of the Rambo movies where they're like, 2 Purple Hearts, Silver Star, and the highest civilian honor, which is basically the same as a Congressional Medal of Honor. He got it for winning a hockey game. Fuck you.
Congressional Medal of Honor. And I watched him win his 18th Indianapolis 500, and now...
No, you didn't. You saw a clip of him crossing the finish line. You didn't watch the fucking race.
I just said, did you win 19? He said, well, actually, we won 20. He won 2 more since then. So that was like 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Happens every year. Won 2 times. This dude's unstoppable.
He won 2 more since then. And just well-deserving. If you look, Germany, Japan... the countries, they spend billions of dollars trying to win Indy. And I guess they do it sometimes, but not much. But he's done it.
3 out of 5, I guess.
times, Phil. So he must know something about cars and racing.
Yeah, he knows about putting a German engine in that vehicle, for example. Because more than likely it has a German engine in it. Dummy.
And trucks, too, by the way. He knows a lot about trucks. But he's been a very special...
Does he? What does he know? That like they've got wheels and they're bigger than cars in general, and they can pull stuff and they go. They like if they go.
Oh, come on! What the hell?
And he's brought some of our outstanding racing champions with tremendous courage and guts and grit. Hello, fellas. I didn't see you.
Hey, fellas, with your grit over there.
Over there, that's a good-looking couple of teams, too. They have a lot of courage.
Sure. Yeah, awesome. I understand that football is very dangerous as well.
You in a second, so we're joined.
I pointed this out before, but since you guys weren't here, do you ever remember Biden reading remarks at one of these kind of fluff events off of a card like that? Do you ever, I mean, they made fun of Biden for having fucking notes all the time, just having the card with the schedule of what they were going to do. But have you ever seen Biden going, today we doobity-floo-boo. Today we introduce the scientific remarkable challenges that when these people made
the Ludium Q36 explosive space modulator.
And yeah. Do you ever see him do that? Nope.
The 2023-2024 NASCAR champion Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano. That's really fantastic, fellas. That's great. How fast do you get that car going? Like as an
how fast do you get that car going?
On average, how?
On average, what's your average speed? Well, gosh, probably 8 miles an hour. Since in between races it just sits still and I sit inside of it. Averages out. There's way more hours just sitting in the thing, listening to the radio.
With you
about 190.
About 190, you can have it. I don't want to go, but 190. That's fantastic. And on a straightaway, you'll go how much?
About 190, 200.
Yeah. 190 to 200. Well, it takes a special genetic. You know that, right?
Yes, genetically. That's. I mean, why ever pass up an opportunity to be fucking racist? Also, as I said before, when you guys weren't here, if you really believe that, why doesn't Stephen Miller roll up in a van with a bunch of guys in black suits, grab this motherfucker, snatch him off the street, and milk his sperm to make super soldiers? What the fuck? Genetics. So what does that mean? If he's got great genetics because he can drive fast and you're scared of the number, I guess you're just white trash. Maybe, you know. Hey, man, we all are on some level.
It's genes. Not only it's genes, really.
No, it's probably training and a screw loose.
People couldn't do that. Very few people could do it.
You know he doesn't run, right? You know the vehicle does all the speed stuff. Do you think it's about like the strength of his right leg? Like, and most people can't even push that hard on a gas pedal. They're not capable of doing it. You know, you probably. I remember the great Monsieur Pierre Lefort from Kids in the Hall. Amazing driver. Super fast.
2023 and 2024 Indianapolis 500 winner Joseph Newgarden. Hey, Joseph.
It says here on the card you're not standing over there. It says you're standing over here.
And the 2025 champions of the 24 Hours of Daytona, Felipe Nasser, Nick Tandy, and Lawrence Ventura. Thank you, sir.
Why are you turning that way, you weirdo? Why wouldn't you turn this? You're reading this way. They're over there. Why wouldn't you just go, hey, fellas? Why would you go, hello?
This is just a celebration of racing.
It is of races more than anything. Just the genetics. Or the genetics to win.
It's a celebration of Roger and his great success and his life and these incredible champions
I'm sorry, is this a wake?
who really do what very few people could do. Mentally,
That's a lot of people, actually.
logically, it's a big factor here, like it is in all sports, really, but you need
Meh. Not golf, obviously.
great physical ability. People.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I did the nut warning earlier, and I apologize. I wasn't up on the air, and I took all the precautions. I really did. I care about you, and I want you to be safe. So just forewarned is forearmed.
That do this, they don't realize what great athletes they are. It's just not the car. I had a friend. He's a very successful guy, but he was a driver, and started off. He wanted to be a race car driver. He wanted to be like you. He wanted to be.
And he's dead.
Just like Joey Logano. and he had it for business, but he didn't have it for he said, I just couldn't compete with the good drivers. He couldn't do it no matter what he did. And he got lucky. He went into business. He made a lot of money. He was very successful. But he said, I couldn't press the accelerator down all the way, and the best drivers could.
As a matter of fact, let's bring him out. He's right over here. What was he, fucking 12? Maybe tie books to his feet like Short Round in Temple of Doom? What? Oh, God damn it. Just like, how do you stand there behind him and not laugh when he says something stupid like that? Just 100%.
Oh,
just,
hello there.
He could push the pedals all the way down. Maybe, I don't know, maybe make the pedal bigger. You know what? If you reach down in the seat, there's like a little lever in front of you. You could pull it forward. He could push the pedal down.
There was just a difference. It was really I never forgot that story.
It's a great story. It's also insane. I would love to meet your friend who's very successful in business, but failed at racing because he couldn't push the pedal all the way to the floor. My mom can push the pedal all the way to the floor. She does a lot.
These are great champions, and it's a great sport. And what you've done in Indianapolis also with the track and everything has been incredible. I mean, it's really incredible. People tell me it's been amazing. I'll have to get there. I'm going to have to get there maybe this year with you. But
Open invitation.
well, thank you very much. Thank you. We did Daytona. We went around the track in the Beast, what's called the Beast, with the thick windows and the whole thing. And you're not supposed to.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Thing, but I heard the fans, they were going crazy outside, so it was a great honor. So I just wanted to welcome them to the White House, a special place for
Did you make sure they kept it under 45? Otherwise, you'd shit your pants.
a special place. And we love champions, and these are the
We do. I agree. Yeah. We do. We love them. We massage them. We fillet them. Champions all the way.
champions in the world. These are the greatest champions in racing, and it's an honor to have you all. And thank
Well, I mean, they won 2 of them. They won 23-24, but they had lost the other races in between. I mean, give the other people some credit.
you very much. All of you, thank you very much. I wouldn't ride in that thing if you paid me.
You can't ride in it. It's only got 1 seat, dum-dum. I mean, I guess you could sit on the wing and go vroom, vroom.
How fast will that go?
240 plus.
240.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Weapon.
No, it's quite believable.
Two-time winner of the Indianapolis 500 consecutively, right?
Yes, sir.
So what the hell are you doing? What do you eat?
A lot of milk. Drinking a lot of milk. Hopefully I
Okay, I'm going to take some. And that one is pure speed and endurance, right?
Correct, sir.
Speed and endurance. Is that car a very different car than let's say this one, very.
Yeah. I mean, they both have 4 wheels, but that's pretty much, and they are yellow. It's slower.
Very different.
Very different.
Yeah.
Made for.
You gotta last so many hours,
Right.
and we all share the car, so three drivers,
Totally different engine.
different engines,
Everything's different.
everything.
And you go, is it 24 hours?
Yeah.
That's a long time. And that car.
It is. Cory Booker spoke that long on the floor of the Senate, you know, and you can barely get through a sentence. So,
Yeah, there's no let up. It's just constant, right?
well, no, there are multiple drivers. The team drives the car for 24 hours straight. It's not one person.
But congratulations. That's endurance. Endurance is a big factor in life and success, I can tell you. So you guys have it. Well, thank you very much. Would you like to ask Roger or any
No.
champions any questions while we're here? Yeah.
You started the morning saying be cool, and then just
Be
a
cool.
few hours later,
He said, yeah, you started the morning saying, be cool.
there was a pause put in on the tariffs. Can you walk us through your thinking about why you...
Well, obviously, they were going to do this the whole time. He had this day picked out. They knew exactly what was going to happen. And he was like, the day before this happens, China's going to do this, and 5D chess, and everybody else, I'm going to give them a break, and then we're going to just go all in on China. And I knew we were going to do it, and I was like, boom, and that was it. There was no thought about it. I actually pre-programmed those messages on my socials last week.
decided to put a 90-day pause?
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know?
They were getting yippy. CNBC, Fox Business, Maria Bartiromo, yappy, I think is a better word for her, but still, they were getting yippy. Now, it sounds like you backed down because the people around you were like, dude, what the fuck? That's what we're all drawing from yippy.
We're getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid, unlike these champions.
Believe me, they were pissed about their investments too.
Because we have a big job to do. No other president would have done what I did. No other.
Right, because none of them have been this stupid.
I know the presidents. They wouldn't have done it.
You knew him personally? You and Taft, right? You used to you separated in the womb, or?
And it had to be done. What was happening to us on trade, not only with, if you look at it, not only with China, but China was by far the biggest abuser in history, and others also. But somebody had to do it. They had to stop because it was not sustainable.
Yeah, you didn't stop it.
Last year, China made $1 trillion off trade with the United States.
No.
Not right. And now I've reversed it. It's for a short period of time, but we made $2 billion. We're making now $2 billion a day.
Yeah, we lost $7 trillion from the stock market in a day and a half. Sorry, but we were making $2 billion a day in tariffs? Perhaps we should run that through that magic equation.
And somebody had to do it. Roger actually said it. Charles Schwab was here a little while ago, one of the great financial people, and he said,
it's loaded. Sorry.
He's been waiting for 40 years for somebody to do what I did over the last month.
Oh, you mean schedule a dip on purpose and then let him know when you're going to undo it so that they could buy the dip at the lowest point, but through the greatest act of insider trading that's ever happened in the White House? Yeah, we figured.
And if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have a country. It wouldn't be sustainable. So I'm honored to have done it. And, look, nothing's over yet, but we have a tremendous amount of spirit from other countries, including China.
Spirit, yes. They're swearing a lot. I think that's what he
wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. It's
because they don't know what the fuck you're talking about?
Things they don't know how quite. They're proud people. And President Xi's a proud man. I know him very well. And they don't know quite how to go about it, but they'll figure it out. They're in the process of figuring it out, but they want to make a deal. And we have many other countries, as you know, many more than 75, and they all
Also, a 90-day pause, 75 different countries. How many trade representatives do you actually have that you're going to do 75, as Besson called them, bespoke trade deals in 90 days?
come and they want to come here, or they'll go to Commerce, or they'll go to Treasury. We have our great senators here and congressmen.
What are you going to do? Just outsource it to everybody else?
Bullshit!
They'll call John, they'll do somebody, they'll go through somebody, but they're all calling, how do we do this?
What do you mean they'll call somebody? We have trade representatives. They'll call somebody. Is this the car?
They all want to make a deal. Somebody had to do what we did, and I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's
Europe retaliated, and you gave them a 90-day pause too. The only one you didn't do was China.
what we did with China, because they did retaliate.
So did Europe. They added a 25 one. So did Canada.
So we'll see how it all works out. I think it's going to work out amazing. I think that our country is going to be at the end of a year or shorter, but I think we're going to have something that nobody would have dreamt possible.
Yeah, like what, a $28,000 stock market again?
A man like
1,000
Roger
point?
Penske, I don't want to get him in trouble with China, so I won't, but he would know that someday you have to cut the bow, and you have to do what you have to do, right?
Yeah, someday you have to cut the bone. You have to do what you do. You do have to cut the bone. You mean cut to the bone? What is this, frontier surgery?
And that's what I did, and I'm very happy to have done it.
Mr. President,
Was there anyone?
the Prime Minister of Greece just told Breitbart's Matt Boyle that he thinks absolutely the European Union and the United States could work out a trade deal that's win-win and, quote, mutually beneficial to both sides. What do you think about the Prime Minister's comments, and do you think a deal could be struck with the European Union?
First of all, I know him. He's a good man, and I appreciate his comments. Yeah, a deal could be made with every one of them. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them.
Yes, it'll be terrible.
There'll be fair deals. I just want fair.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
They will be fair deals for everybody. But they weren't fair to the United States. They were sucking us dry, and
No, they really weren't. I mean, we were buying a lot of stuff from overseas and turning it into other stuff. It was the engine of our economy largely is our ability to take parts from all around the world and assemble them here or somewhere else, but owned by an American company and then sold throughout the world.
you can't do that. You know, we have $36 trillion of debt for a reason. We don't have it there
Yes, and it has nothing to do with trade.
for fun. They have it for a reason. And people took advantage of our country, and they ripped us off for decades. I've been thinking about this for decades.
Right, you were wrong all along. You want to just go back to Japan when he was on fucking Oprah?
If you ever saw me on television, I was young like these guys. And
No, they were young and fit. You were just chronologically the same age at some point.
I was a good old days, I'll tell you, Roger. But I was like these guys, young, and I was talking about it. Nothing changed, and nothing was done about it. Then I did it. In my first term, I did it. And
No, he didn't.
well, we took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China and others, and I started the process, but then we had to fix up from the COVID mess caused by China. We had to fix up from that, and we did a good job.
So China caused this, actively, you're saying. So you still want to do a trade deal with a country that killed 1 million Americans. How's that work? What are you talking about? Why would you ever want to make a deal if you actually thought that China caused this? Why would you ever? I mean, your primary thing would be, how do we move it, like production anywhere but China? It doesn't have to come here right away, but Vietnam, South Korea, Philippines, Laos, Cambodia, nobody cares. Just out of fucking China. These assholes tried to kill us, done.
Doing it, and when we
Obviously, the reason is because he's full of shit, and this is about his back end and his money and his family's wealth after he's president.
back the reins after a rigged election, and when we handed back the reins, the stock market was higher than it was before COVID coming in. So, you know, we did it.
Yes. When Biden left office, the stock market was higher than when COVID came in. This is
job, but we didn't have time to do the big thing, which we're doing now. And it's it's like a patient is sick. You have to do surgery. Patient is very, very sick.
Sorry, we went from medicine to surgery. Sorry, did they have a reaction to the medicine and then their lungs exploded?
And Joe Biden handed us over a country that was in very serious trouble, economically.
No, not at all.
And in every other way. They let China run away with things. They let other countries run away with things. And maybe worst of all, in a certain way, is what they did at the border. We had people pouring into.
All right, here we go. Like insane asylums and shit like that again, or whatever. Blah, blah, blah.
Country by the millions. Many of them were murderers and drug lords and thieves and people from prisons from all over the world.
Right, but enough about your cabinet.
And there were people from mental institutions, insane asylums. They were taking their mentally insane, and they were dumping them into our country.
Really? And did they use a water slide? How did they get in here? Because I'm very curious. Because if you take somebody who's that nuts, and what did they just point them towards the north and just tell them to walk until they see white people? What was the issue? Or even black people, I suppose?
And I'll tell you, Tom Homan and Kristi Noem are doing a fantastic job.
I mean, I see you guys, the stories seem to be more about you guys rounding up people that don't deserve to be kicked out of the country more than busloads of hundreds of thousands of migrants being kicked out. I got to tell you, the numbers look like shit. I mean, you can all the macho talk in the fucking world, but if you're if I'm hoping there's some maggots in the chat paying attention. Good to see you guys. Are these the numbers you were hoping for? Wasn't it? I mean, if there are 20 some odd million people that were let in, we allegedly had 10. That means 30. How come they can't find any? How come we're talking about flights with 15 fucking people on them? Why have all the flights they've flown out have less than 100? It's not like they're being held up by the legal process.
In removing them, and now the courts, the Supreme Court just gave us numerous good rulings where we have to be able to get them out. You had other judges trying to take over the system, and think of it, they take over. They want these people coming back. Tren de Aragua from Venezuela.
No, they just want you to prove that they are gang members or criminals before you kick them out.
Well,
especially if they were here on a legit visa.
Else.
And again, it's one thing to kick them out. It's another thing to deliver them to an El Salvadoran fucking prison with no charges. By the way, you do realize that under these same standards, the next Democratic president could disappear all the Jan 6ers off the street and send them to fucking, I don't know, a prison in Congo. Right? I mean, obviously, Democrats would view them as terrorists. They're domestic terrorists. If you can take somebody that hasn't been charged or found guilty of something, you can certainly take somebody who has been, and then you just, eliminate their pardon by saying basically they've nullified their citizenship, and you just send them to a horrible prison someplace. I mean, that would be legal if what he's doing is legal.
Cut off the fingers of a man in Colorado. They cut off his fingers because he called the police looking for help. They said, "Did you call the police?" He said, "Yes, I did." "Put your hand down," and they cut off the fingers. This is what they want to bring these people back. No.
Yeah, the people that you sent down there didn't do that. I mean, why don't you just tell stories about the Old West?
I want to thank the president of El Salvador for the job he's done, because that's the way it has to be done. It's too bad. Yeah, please.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they've been talking about tariffs for decades. How come when these Democrat elites want tariffs, everything...
Oh, this is the Breitbart guy?
Hunky-dory, but when President Trump wants tariffs...
Hunky-dory?
Hell breaks loose. Do you see this double standard?
I love this guy. Whoever the hell that is. That's really nice. I appreciate that question. No, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, everybody knew you had to do it, but they never had the...
No, targeted tariffs on specific markets and specific products. Everybody knows that works. That's part of the process. But a blanket tariff on everybody, mainly attacking our allies more than anybody else, nobody was ever for that until this dipshit. No, there was no point where like Schumer was like, we need to tariff Europe. Why? Because fuck them.
To do it. It does take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. They were saying about, see, just be cool. It's going to work out. It's going to.
Yeah, man, be cool. Just relax, all right? You know?
Hey, careful, man. There's a beverage here, huh?
Out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. It's really, I think it's a transition to greatness. It's going to be greatness. Our country is going to be. There'll be nothing like it. And people investing in our country, they're going to do.
Well, I mean, there are craters on the moon
Than they've ever done before. We have more.
There's also, let me guess, liquid gold?
Car manufacturers, Roger, coming into our country now. Speaking of cars, we've never seen anything like it.
That's just horseshit. Seriously, just not true at all. A, that we have lots of them coming into the country, and B, that we've never seen anything like it. The biggest moves by the Japanese car makers and and I guess arguably the South Korean car makers into the United States, and maybe like the Mercedes and BMW plants that are in Kentucky and Tennessee and that area, those moves all happened late 90s into the early 2000s.
Coming in because of the election, but they're coming in because of the tariffs, because they don't want to pay 25 or 50 or whatever it may be. They don't want to pay that. They can't pay that.
Yeah, and they're also not going to pay that. Because even if you want them to, how long is it going to fucking take until they can build a fucking factory here? What are you going to do? Make it 10% until they finish the factory? Where are they going to get the money if they're just shaving that profit right off the top for entry to actually build the fucking factory? And again, once it's built, it's not going to be a factory. It's going to be a fucking car vending machine.
We had 3 cancellations in Mexico.
Oh, this bullshit. No, they didn't.
A plant, they're all coming into the United States.
Nonsense. Didn't happen. Lie. He's been saying this since last year.
Canada, they're coming in. From China, they're coming in from everywhere.
No, Chinese car manufacturers are not coming into the United States, stupid. No, they aren't. What the fuck are you talking about? No, and Germany's not making a coal plant a week, you absolute tit.
And that's just cars. We have
No, there are no Chinese car companies coming in. None.
makers come with the biggest chip maker in the world from Taiwan, coming in, spending $3 billion.
Thanks, Joe Biden.
To build plants, and mostly a big plant. This is a hell of a plant.
Yeah, with fucking 13 people working in it.
The kind of money that they're going to go $200 to $300 billion, not million. You know, you'd say million would be the right number. It's not $200 to $300 billion.
Yeah, that's the cost of automation, but it pays out in the long run.
Think of that, $300 billion. If you look at Apple is going to spend
investing the same amount of money over the same period of time that it always does, unless you fuck them on the China thing. You're going to have to give them a carve out. Otherwise, they won't have that money to invest, even though it's the standard amount.
$500 billion building a plant. They wouldn't be doing that if I didn't do this. They'd just keep building them in China. And that's unsustainable. It's not a pleasant thing to do, but I appreciate the question. And, you know, interestingly, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, Crazy Nancy, they've wanted to do this for years, but they never had a president that had the guts to do it, because it does take guts, believe me.
Well, then why didn't they say they wanted to do it ever? Were they just afraid that the presidents that they had, Obama or Biden or I guess Clinton too, would have gone, okay, and they're like, no, we just wanted to pretend to want that.
Was it the bond markets that persuaded you to...
And here you go. Was it the bond markets? And again, keep in mind, Howard Lutnick's entire business is in the bond market.
reverse
No, I
course?
was watching the bond market. The bond market is very tricky. I was watching it, but if you look at it now, it's beautiful. The bond market right now is beautiful. But yeah, I saw last night where people were getting a little queasy.
That would be Howard Lutnick.
Everything had. Well, the big move wasn't what I did today. The big move was what I did on Liberation Day. We had Liberation Day in America. We're liberated from all of the horrible deals that were made, all of the horrible trade deals that were made. And I was helped by people just like this, senator, congressman, and friends, right? And we had great help in the Senate. Our Republican senators have been amazing. They stood tall. And likewise in the House.
No, they didn't. The vast majority of them were like, what the fuck is this?
John Thune has done an amazing job. Barrasso has done an amazing job.
Doing what? Trying to seize back the power to control trade from you?
I can't think of a senator, really. We had tremendous support. We got a bill passed the other day with almost unanimous support in the Senate. And I think we're going to get that in the House, too. And I have to tell you...
What bill was that? Did you name a bridge?
Mike Johnson is a great speaker. He's done a fantastic job. We had a majority of 1. Now we have a majority of 7. And you don't realize how big 7 is until you have a majority of 1. 7 sounds like so much. But we're doing well. But Mike Johnson and John Thune have done a really great job.
Mr. President, was there anyone who influenced your decision? Did you speak with anyone, Jamie Dimon? Did you speak with anyone?
Well, I watched Jamie Dimon on Maria Bartiromo's show this morning, and he was very good. He
Audience of 1.
That actually made the statement to effect that something had to be done with the tariffs and trade. He said that. He said, look, at some point, but he said something has to be done with tariffs and trade. He understood.
Yeah, something. Not everything all at once was, I think, part of his point.
He's very smart and very genius financially. He's done a fantastic job at the bank. And he knows that. Everybody knows that.
He's done a fantastic job at the bank. What was he, the Kilmer character or the De Niro character?
Anybody that's even a little bit smart knows it. It wasn't sustainable what was happening. Somebody had to pull the trigger. I was willing to pull the trigger. This should have been done long ago. Just like Biden should have stopped the border long ago. I mean, allowed 21 million people plus into our country, many of whom should never have been allowed out of prisons and jails.
Yeah, again, 20 million people extra on top of the 10 or 11 that were already here, which is the same number we have currently right now, but whatever. That means 30 million people, and so far, Homan can't fucking find more than, whatever, I don't know, 3,000 of them? 5,000? For real. How the fuck did 20 million people get in? Oh, right. They're just encounters. It was the same people over and fucking over.
Out of prisons and jails from all over the world. And now we're getting them out, bringing them back to their countries.
No, you're not. And if you are, that means there were only a dozen.
But it's...
many of whom, by the way, who entered the country when you were president or have been here for decades.
Should have never been done. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sir, would you consider exempting some U.S. companies, maybe some larger companies who have been hit hard in the markets the last few days during this 90 days?
As time goes by, we're going to take a look at it. There are some that have been hard. There are some that, by the nature of the company, get hit a little bit harder, and we'll take a look at that, yeah.
How will you determine the next 90 days?
Just instinctively.
Instinctively. Shut the fuck up. Besant will tell him. Besant will give him a list. Now that the fucking panic happened.
Anything else? I mean...
Oh, no. Homan, Dan says, where's Homan in rehab? Homan is making, like, visits to the state legislatures and giving little speeches because he certainly isn't fucking busy gathering up hundreds of thousands of criminal aliens.
You almost can't take a pencil to paper. It's really more of an instinct, I think, than anything else.
Yeah, your instinct tells you, like, this is so fucking stupid.
Credibility, like, because you said that these tariffs would go into effect on Monday. You said no pause, but today there is a pause. So how can people believe your words today?
It's not a question of that. You have to have flexibility.
Oh, you mean you should be allowed to lie and manipulate the market?
I could say, here's a wall, and I'm going to go through that wall. I'm going to go through it no matter what. And keep going, and you can't go through the wall. Sometimes you
Yeah, that's true most of the time when you deal with a wall. Unless, of course, you're an immigrant and it's your wall, which is apparently easily scalable with $1.99 worth of goods from Home Depot.
be able to go under the wall, around the wall, or over the wall.
Right, your wall is shit. We get it. Yes, you have a shitty wall. You built a shitty wall, and it's so shitty, it only works as a wall when you've got troops down there every 18 feet.
You know that better than anybody, right? You got to go around.
No. There aren't any walls in the tracks. This isn't fucking Mario Kart.
Sometimes you're not going to go through them.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah. In general, most NASCAR drivers are trying not to drive through walls.
I consider.
Is this the car?
You know, I think in financial markets, because they change. Look how much it changed today. We went from, pretty moderate today, but over the last few days, it looked pretty glum.
Yeah, gee, I wonder what caused that.
I guess they say it was the biggest day in financial history.
No, they don't. Nobody said it was the biggest day in financial history. No. You don't. Jesus Christ. You don't get points for digging a hole, falling into it, and crawling halfway out. Again, all the math of this motherfucker is, if I'm standing in a hole that's 6 feet deep and 3 inches of my head are sticking out, if I climb out, I'm now 12 foot, 3 inches tall. That's Trump math.
Pretty big change. And I think the word would be flexible. You have to be flexible.
Flexible. So basically everybody's just going to go, this is going to vacillate. It's all going to be fucking chaos. You mean you got to be chaotic and unpredictable?
Asking the question about some companies. Some companies, through no fault of their own, they happen to be in an industry that is more affected by these things than others. You have to be able to show a little flexibility. And
yeah, that's flexibility. What you mean is unpredictability with the other things, stupid.
I'm able to do that. I'm going to say hello to these champions because they are great champions. I got to say hello.
Why don't you bring them inside, dummy? Why don't you say hi to them inside? Like they don't have to stand near their car or they lose their superpowers. This isn't Knight Rider, you dumb shit. Fuck me. Anyways, so you can see that he blinked. I said he blinked. Everybody's like, it's 5D chess. It's blah, blah, blah. He blinked. He fucking blinked. And he blinked because of all the people that were calling him, including Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is going to, one of the things you got to recognize is that this, in the fight between Navarro and Musk, Musk won this weekend. Musk won.